what's new, an early Christmas present for some Ohioans as the first batch of COVID-19 vaccines will be available very soon. We'll tell you exactly when. Plus, holiday stress is taking on a whole new meaning this year. Monica Robbins shares tips on how to help our young people deal with an incredibly stressful holiday season.
Dodging crowds, the best and safest time to run to the grocery store for all of your last-minute Thanksgiving needs.
The two words that should be avoided are the two P words this year, and that would be politics and pandemic.
We might not be in the same room physically, but we can still unite over video chat. Mike Polk gives us all a lesson in Zoom etiquette.
Plus, Emily Mayfield will join us on today's show. Emily, where are you taking us today?
Coming up, I'm taking you to two coffee shops I know you'll love.
What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
As we have for months now, we begin today with the number of COVID-19 cases reported in Ohio. 8,604 cases were reported just in the last 24 hours. But once again, this is not the entire picture. There are still thousands of cases in a backlog. Laura Queso will dig deeper into this in just a moment.
Yeah, Betsy, even with that backlog, the number is more than 3,200 cases smaller than yesterday's number, which also included backlogs from previous days. Our positivity rate now below 14%. Hospitalizations grew by 90 statewide. We now have 4,449 COVID-19 patients in Ohio hospitals. And sadly, our one-day death total is now at a new high. 98 Ohioans lost their lives to the coronavirus in our most recent report. And it is on that somber note that we welcome you into What's New for the Tuesday before Thanksgiving 2020. Thanks so much for joining us. With Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford.
Yeah, and we want to start right away with breaking news that we have just coming in. We now have a date. Just a few hours ago, Governor DeWine said the coronavirus vaccine will make its way to Ohio very soon. And as always, Laura Queso listened to the governor's press conference. Laura, tell us more about this.
Yeah, so we do have a date, December 15th. That's the target date for Ohio to get its first batch of the coronavirus vaccine. This, of course, is if everything goes according to plan. Fingers crossed. Now, the governor said he learned of the news yesterday while on a phone call with other governors and the White House.
The first batch, we were told yesterday, will be Pfizer. The Moderna is scheduled. Now, this is assuming everything gets approved. Moderna would be a week later. We all need to understand that it's going to take two shots. So the first one and then the next one is 3 or 4 weeks later. So we don't have the exact numbers yet, but we're told that this is, once it starts coming, they hope it to be a continuous flow.
Now remember, recently, both Pfizer and Moderna have seen incredibly high success rates in their own vaccine trials, each reporting that their candidates are as high as 95% effective in protecting a person from contracting the virus. The governor reiterated today that the first rounds of the vaccine will go to healthcare providers and the people most at risk for contracting COVID, like the elderly and also those with underlying conditions.
We know, of course, that the vaccines have also been in production while the testing was going on. So there will be a lot that comes out all at one time. Glad to see Ohio is at least going to get a piece of that to start. Laura, Governor DeWine also addressed this backlog in the new cases and the reporting. Did he give insight into today's numbers and what the heck is going on?
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of people are wondering this, right? He said some of the case numbers have been inflated. That's because some of the labs just didn't report quickly enough, or their numbers hadn't been cleared into the state system. Most notably, yesterday, and we saw almost 12,000 cases. But the governor said he actually believes today's numbers are pretty accurate, maybe a little higher, he said, but pretty accurate overall. He said now there's a backlog of 6,000 cases that still need to be cleared at some point. Either way, though, no one can argue that here in Ohio, our numbers are high.
So basically what they're saying is that 6,000 number, those 6,000 cases in the backlog, if everything was cleared tomorrow, those would be in addition to tomorrow's reported number. So at some point we're going to have a larger than expected number, but certainly it's all positive cases. So it really kind of evens out in the end. All right, Laura, so much to follow on this. Thanks so much. We'll see you again pretty quick. Jay?
Well, Betsy, with the exception of the most recent vaccine developments and especially today's news of an actual date that we can now circle on our calendar and look forward to at least the beginning of the distribution of this vaccine, the vast majority of our news going back to late February has not been good. And now with the holidays coming and most of us not being able to celebrate the way we want or with those we want to celebrate with, it's easy to understand why depression is on the rise. Senior health correspondent Monica Robbins wants to remind us at this time to pay extra attention to the youngest among us. Hello, Monica.
Hi, Jay. Yeah, here's the most important thing I can tell everybody right now. You are not alone. Most of us are feeling this stress, the anxiety, the depression during this pandemic. Our world has been turned upside down, but it's not just the adults. Kids are dealing with it too, and it's really important to pay attention to them right now. So there was a study done in September that found more than half of the kids surveyed had thoughts of suicide or self-harm. In fact, 11 to 17-year-olds had been more likely than any other age group to experience symptoms of anxiety and depression during the pandemic. But it's also affecting the little ones. Their lives have been turned upside down. They're often not able to be in school. They're missing their friends. So parents, let your kids express their concerns. Let them talk it out and just listen. And most importantly, remind them of this.
It's actually normal to be feeling down about the holidays. It's a real disappointment that we're still working through the pandemic. To consider and putting into your thought process deliberately is, with COVID, it will pass. This year will pass.
So what do? You and your kids take a break from social media. Even though that's where they connect, it's also where they're bombarded with negativity and COVID. Also, get outside, go for a walk, get some daylight on your skin. It's a natural mood booster and can help decrease and lower the risk of depression. Or it's Thanksgiving. Show some gratitude and kindness by doing for others. Perhaps do somebody's grocery shopping or other errands that they can't do right now. Find purpose. Make a traditional family meal. Maybe deliver it to those you can't see right now. And since we have the technology, it's critical that we all use it. So please teach those older folks how to use the technology, because that's how we can stay connected with loved ones and friends on regular computer video chats. And that's certainly something we can all be grateful for this Thanksgiving, because Jay, imagine going through this pandemic right now without any of that capability. Can't even imagine it right now.
It's a bad situation. It would be a nightmare if we weren't at least able to lean on that technology. Also, wanted to throw this out there quickly. Lindsey Buckingham has done this story several times on our air about how elderly love to get letters. Remember, that was their main means of communication when they were young. You can go to our website and look how you can become a pen pal with an elderly person who might be alone, might be living in an assisted facility, that would love to get a letter from a youngster to hear what's going on in their lives. Just a thought. Monica, thank you so much. Great advice.
Sure.
Betsy?
Well, so much of the conversation during this pandemic has been protecting our children, and the focus of a lot of that conversation has been on our schools and education. Not just for the kids, but for the staff and the teachers too. We're now going to bring you a story, an update on a story that we brought you last week about a Cuyahoga Falls music teacher, Shelby Miller, who turned to social media to plead with school officials to reconsider a return to full-time in-person teaching.
It's hard. This is all really, really hard.
Well, school officials have heard from many teachers and parents with similar concerns. In a special meeting last night, school board members and the superintendent, Dr. Todd Nichols, discussed keeping students home through Martin Luther King Jr. Day in mid-January as the safest option. Nichols became emotional when talking about the concerns of parents and teachers.
These decisions are horrific, and I take them extremely seriously and very personally, because that's my job. This is my job. It's what I've dedicated 33 years of my life to. A long, long, long time. And this particular time is the hardest. It's the hardest. Heard our community loud and clear. The tough thing about this is the opinions vary so drastically. And there's so much passion around one's opinion. And like I said, I do take it personally. And
Well, the Cuyahoga Falls School District is expected to formally announce its decision to fully return to remote teaching later on this evening. And man, when he said that there are so many drastically different opinions and those people are very vocal, I got to tell you, that's not just in Cuyahoga Falls. That is every school district around Northeast Ohio trying to make this decision, in or out, what's going to happen. And that is a constantly evolving conversation. Jay?
And not just Northeast Ohio. This is going on around the United States and worldwide. What do we do with our school-age children during this pandemic? Well, right now it is coming up on 9 minutes past the top of the hour. Time to get a check of other stories making news. And for that, we say our first hello of the day to Russ Mitchell. Hello to you, Russ, and good day. Speaking of good days, it's a good day for anyone who has a 401k.
Not bad, Jay. Good afternoon to you as well. Another record-setting day on Wall Street. For the first time ever, the Dow closed above 30,000 points. That jump being attributed to the presidential transition process finally being formally underway and today's promising vaccine news. America is back. That was the word from President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris as they formally introduced their national security team today. Their cabinet picks include a few historic firsts, including the first woman to lead the intelligence community, the first African-American woman to be the U.S. ambassador to the UN, the first Latino and immigrant to lead the Department of Homeland Security, and the first full-time diplomat for climate change.
The team meets this moment, this team behind me. They embody my core beliefs that America is strongest when it works with its allies. Collectively, this team has secured some of the most defining national security and diplomatic achievements in recent memory.
Also today, Pennsylvania and Nevada certified their election results for the president-elect. And that is all for now, Jay. I'll see you in a bit.
All right, see you at top of the hour with what matters most at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Well, last week, Mike Polk told us that Ohio's favorite Thanksgiving side dish is green bean casserole. We all learned that that's Jay's favorite, too.
No, not a fan.
He hates green beans.
Not a fan.
And yesterday, we shared my family's recipe for our favorite stuffing. Today, there's a new study out about Thanksgiving pie. What do you think Ohio's favorite Thanksgiving pie is, Jay?
I'm going to guess that it's pumpkin pie, because I mean, that seems to be everybody's staple at Thanksgiving, but mine is apple.
Okay, I can agree with both of those, but believe it or not, an Instagram study says the answer is sweet potato pie.
What?
What the what? I have lived in Ohio 40 of my 45 years, and I'm going to tell you what, I have never had somebody make me sweet potato pie.
I've never had it.
Or make sweet potato pie.
I mean, I have the sweet potato souffle or casserole or whatever.
That must be
is that what they're talking about?
That's got to be a Southern Ohio thing. Like, what the what? We don't do that up here.
Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder where these polls are coming from, because remember, Polk told us last week that our drink is tomato juice.
That I could believe.
Not me.
Yeah.
I've never, ever in my life said, man, am I thirsty. Wow, I could go for some tomato juice.
Western Ohio, they grow a lot of tomatoes.
I get it.
They make Heinz ketchup in Ohio.
Do we drink it? I mean, that's really. I think it's time we revisit these things.
Yeah. I think that's actually probably a pretty good idea. Once this whole coronavirus thing is over,
let's take a new survey.
Redo the whole what's the favorite thing. But certainly,
I've never had that.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Send us a text or a tweet or whatever at Betsy Kling. You're Jay Crawford, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I have been my whole life.
At Jay Crawford.
I don't know what my handle is.
Whoever you are, just look it up.
But I
You'll
am Jay
find
Crawford.
him. He'll be there.
All right, next on What's New. Thanksgiving shopping is very different for a whole lot of us this year. Smaller gatherings are the rule. So that means everybody's going to be looking for different kinds of items. We're going to tell you what to look for if you're still doing some of that grocery shopping.
Lots of green beans, Jay.
No green beans, none.
Then it's time to get into the holiday spirit. We have a sneak peek at Disney's holiday sing-along. Of course, we would need some very festive-looking forecast numbers and perhaps some, maybe a little snow coming our way. We turn to Matt with the latest on that.
More tomato juice just topped me off. Thanks, honey. Oh, hey there, guys. Yeah, we could definitely use more snow around here. And, you know, we've talked about this. We've got a very rainy Wednesday to get through, perhaps some lingering into Thanksgiving, and then things turn active. If you are a snow lover, you're going to want to stay tuned to our forecast.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Well, we're just a couple days away from Thanksgiving now, and there are still many of us, getting in those last-minute shopping trips. Brandon Simmons shows us what it's like in the stores and offers some ideas on how you can make sure you find what you need and safely.
It's mid-afternoon, but still there are plenty of people out and about, shopping so they can prepare their best and in some cases, first Thanksgiving meal.
We definitely are seeing COVID impact those shopping trends when it comes to meal prep.
This year, more people are expected to have a smaller guest list if they have one at all, meaning smaller turkeys and smaller portions. It's a trend that Giant Eagle and other grocers have been preparing for.
So we did increase the number of smaller turkeys and turkey breasts that we ordered this year, kind of anticipating those smaller gatherings.
It's a good thing they did. Store shelves appear to be holding up to the last-minute rush in some locations, although home necessities you often use year-round, like toilet paper, are still not fully stocked to pre-COVID levels. But that doesn't mean it's impossible to find. The safest way to shop may be to do it from your couch, using delivery and curbside pickup. Just be flexible.
If you can be flexible with your pickup location or your delivery time and expand that horizon, so you might pick up from a store that you don't usually shop that has availability, that's a great option.
But if going to the store is your thing, be sure to follow these tips. Keep it short, bring a shopping list to know exactly what you need to grab, check store policies regarding capacity and lines, and try to shop early when it's not as crowded. Most importantly, follow health safety guidelines.
We just want to remind people to just still be aware of those around them and respect those social distancing guidelines, wear your mask.
Now, many of these tips are good as we head into Black Friday and the holiday shopping season too. But again, online shopping may be your best bet and is safer than a trip to the store. And actually, Betsy, while I was at the store, one thing I wanted to let Jay and you know as well, sweet potato pie is the thing. I'm sorry, I found this when I was there earlier. So this is for
the
you
Patti
guys.
LaBelle pie? Because I have heard Patti LaBelle makes.
It is.
Is that the Patti LaBelle pie? There she is.
She's right
I'm
there in the
telling you.
corner.
Yeah, but ask
It is
Brandon
like
who makes
world famous.
the best sweet potato
yes,
pie.
Brandon, who makes the best sweet potato pie?
Well, that's Mom. Mom,
Oh,
of
okay.
course. Mom's pie is better than Patty's, hands down.
Good answer.
Okay, that is very good. I can't believe how many people are saying that sweet potato pie is the bomb. Not only Brandon.
I know.
I just put a poll on my Twitter feed, at Betsy Kling. You can vote there. As we turn to weather now and Matt Wentz, I'll tell you that I've got a text in or a tweet in from Patty Barham who says, you will never want pumpkin pie again if you get a sweet potato pie. And Lynn Myers says, sweet potato pie, no way. But Patti LaBelle does rock that sweet potato pie. I'm telling you what, I've got to find this.
Do you like sweet potato pie, Matt?
Yeah, I've never had it. It sounds disgusting, but I'll try anything once.
Oh, it's if it's sweet, I'm there. And Jay, I know you like sweet potato casserole. So
I love that. Yeah, I love
how different can it be?
Yeah, it's got to be better than potato pie. That's for sure.
Yeah, let's hope so. Hey, your weather word today is leftover. It's in the spirit of the season.
That's funny. I actually have the word leftover on one of my graphics, so that'll be easy today, Jay, for sure. I'll just read all my writing that I put on. Yeah, for sure. I can't wait for the leftovers. The leftovers are the best part of Thanksgiving. I don't care what anyone says. You get that. Yes, absolutely. A little turkey sandwich later on today. Watch some football. It'll be a good day. You know what? I'll tell you what. We've got a very active pattern. We've talked about this over the last couple days. It's starting to come to fruition. We've got our little band of rain moving through here this evening. This is brief. It's actually mixing with some wet snowflakes and even some ice pellets. I live over here on the east side of Cleveland. Just stepped outside. We've got ice pellets falling out there. It's kind of loud, actually, and this will continue out towards the east. Not expecting any slick spots because this is A, brief, and B, the temperatures here at the ground are still near 40 degrees. But the bigger picture, you can see they've got accumulating snow once again in Michigan. We're going to dry out tonight. We're going to go into some of those cloudy skies, kind of that brief break in between. But this system is the storm that's going to bring us all the rain tomorrow and some leftovers on Thursday. In fact, tomorrow's rain, you can see there, approaching areas of Missouri. We've got a pretty good batch. And there you go, Thanksgiving leftover as we head on into your Thursday as some of that moisture lingers. The low pressure is a little detached from this system, so it's going to take a little bit longer to get through. But overall, rainiest days tomorrow. Look at temperatures tonight. We're actually going backwards. We're going to head up overnight tonight as that system pushes in. We should lose the rainfall chances. We'll go partly to mostly cloudy tonight. Temperatures rising to the mid-40s by daybreak. Your National Design hour-by-hour forecast. Let's talk rain tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, if you've got early errands to run or perhaps you are traveling around the area, you are going to have to deal with just cloudy skies, but that rain will move in quickly, and it's going to be a pretty solid block as we get towards the noon hour. Early afternoon, notice temperatures are still climbing with those showers. Some heavier downpours at times. Most of the time, it'll be a light to moderate rain. But the high temperatures tomorrow actually arrive tomorrow night at 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock. We'll be in the mid-50s. This is when the actual frontal boundary will go through. Wouldn't be surprised if perhaps we had some thunder and lightning with this. That moves through. We get on the backside of that rotating area of low pressure for Thanksgiving, and you can see the scattered showers, not a washout at all for your Thanksgiving. Temperatures holding steady into the 50s. So rainfall forecast looks like this. We could see anywhere from ½ an inch up to an inch of rain if all goes well as we get through the Thanksgiving holiday. And in terms of that Thanksgiving forecast, I know it's socially distant this time of year, but we're going to be dealing with those leftover showers and your leftover turkey dinner, obviously, as well. The Ken Ganley, I know, I worked so hard on that. Ken Ganley Kia 7-day forecast looks like this. We clear out Friday, Saturday, and guys, we have a storm system to watch next week. If you're a snow lover, we'll talk more on that in our next update. We'll be back with more What's New after the break.
Hey there, Al. Yes, I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
In today's edition of Pop Break, who will temporarily be hosting Jeopardy? Make sure you answer in the form of a question. And we're also getting a peek at what to expect during this year's Disney Holiday Sing-Along. Here's Kira Cotton.
Jeopardy has a new host, at least for now. On Monday, the quiz show announced that Ken Jennings would serve as the show's first interim host following Alex Trebek's death. Jennings is only the first of what will be a series of guest hosts. In a statement, executive producer Mike Richards said, "By bringing in familiar guest hosts for the foreseeable future, our goal is to create a sense of community and continuity for our viewers. The show is slated to resume production next week." 'Tis the season to be filled with holiday cheer, and what better way to celebrate than with a sing-along?
Do you wanna build a snowman or ride a bike around the hall?
Disney has tapped some of the world's biggest stars to take on holiday favorites for their annual holiday sing-along. We'll hear from Michael Bublé, Ciara, Chloe and Halle, Kerry Washington, and many more. The special hopes to raise awareness for Disney's Feed the Love campaign, which works with Feeding America, Toys for Tots, and One Simple Wish. The Disney Holiday Sing-Along will air on November 30th. And we finally have good news for Taylor Swift fans. The 30-year-old singer announced today that she's releasing a concert film for her album Folklore.
If we're going to have to recalibrate everything, we should start with what we love the most first.
The film takes a look at the recorded performances of the album, conversations with her co-producers, and dives into the meaning behind each song. Folklore, the Long Pond studio sessions, will premiere tonight on Disney Plus at midnight. The concert film comes on the heels of new developments in her ongoing feud with producer Scooter Braun over her masters. We're glad that drama isn't keeping her down. Worth the Watch is up next.
Well, the CDC is urging that all Americans stay home for Thanksgiving. And we know that might not be an option for some people. If it is, though, you're going to stay home, you're going to go far. We're going to give you an update on the forecast of the weather around the country.
Ben, this Thanksgiving is going to be different for so many of us because if we can't be with our loved ones physically, we may be joining them via Zoom. So we turn to Mike Polk so we're properly informed on the etiquette of a Zoom Thanksgiving. I can't wait for that, Betsy.
Then buying local with Emily Mayfield, the 2 Cleveland coffee shops you need to add to your must-try list. We'll be right back.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, welcome back to What's New. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford today.
Very good to be with you again, Betsy. Thank you so much for those that are just joining us, getting home from work, and also thanks to those who are sticking around for the second half hour of What's New. Busy day. Very busy day.
We have a lot to talk about. We're going to begin this half hour with 3 things you need to know. Number 1, Christmas is coming early for some Ohioans. Governor DeWine said the first batch of vaccines should arrive December 15th, and he added that the first vaccines into the state will be Pfizer, then Moderna's version will be introduced about a week later or so. As previously noted, healthcare providers and people most at risk of getting the virus will be the first to get the vaccine. Of course, all of this is pending FDA approval.
Yeah, and there it is, Betsy. That's the light at the end of the tunnel so many of us have been looking for. Still a long ways to go, but at least now we know a date when distribution will begin. Also, food banks really need our help. The demand on them this Thanksgiving is surging across the nation, partly because of COVID-19. According to Feeding America, 50 million Americans will deal with food insecurity by the end of this year. The money dedicated to food assistance programs in the CARES Act expires December 31st. So if you are one of the lucky ones, fortunate enough to be able to help others, please do this holiday season.
And meanwhile, it's a different story on Wall Street. The Dow closed above 30,000 points for the first time ever. Today might actually be a good day to look at your 401k numbers. The positive developments in vaccines hitting the market and the Trump administration approving the start of the presidential transition are 2 reasons for the record day. Well, holiday travel is always a top talker this time of the year, and this year the conversation is a little different. The CDC is urging Americans to stay home and not travel for Thanksgiving. But as you see in the video, not everyone's listening to that warning. 3 million passengers filled airports last weekend. Now, we wanted to give you an update on the big picture so you can see how the weather is shaping up for your friends and family in other parts of the country, because, of course, Jason, we are not telling folks that they should be traveling. Certainly we wouldn't do that. But if you want to know what's going on in other areas, as everybody does, you're keeping a nice eye on that forecast for us.
Yeah, certainly am. And you know what? We are expecting rain showers throughout parts of the Midwest. So it definitely is going to be, Betsy, a time where you'll want to stay inside. Now, we are tracking a low pressure system that is centered to our west, and that is what's going to be making holiday travel pretty difficult across parts of the Midwest. So that is the system that you see right there in the central part of your screen, and it's going to continue to move eastward. So if you are doing any traveling tonight, I think you're going to be A-okay. But if you are maybe moving towards Chicago or even parts of St. Louis, you're going to have to drive through the storm in the overnight hours and throughout tomorrow. So I'm expecting some wet road conditions, not only across parts of Indiana, but also parts of Illinois and even here in the Buckeye State tomorrow. And it's going to continue to move eastward. So those of you maybe heading to Pittsburgh or parts of Pennsylvania, you'll expect to see some wet roads as well. Maybe you're doing a little bit of traveling via the airlines. We are expecting to see some delays in Nashville as well as St. Louis tomorrow, as well as some airports throughout the Midwest, including Chicago as well as Detroit. Bottom line, Betsy, you'll want to make sure to pack some patience because the storm system is definitely going to delay some travelers from getting to their destination quickly. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Same to you, Jason. Hope it's a great day for you and yours. Jay?
By the way, that's a great jacket. That's a great jacket. I want to know where you got that.
He's very dapper.
All right, if you are not traveling this Thanksgiving, odds are pretty good you may be enjoying a meal virtually with loved ones that you just can't be with. That brings us to uncharted territory. What are the do's and don'ts of a virtual Thanksgiving? We all need to know. So we went straight to our captain of civility, Mike Polk, for some answers we can all benefit from.
Last year, I helped some of my esteemed WKYC colleagues learn valuable etiquette lessons in preparation for Thanksgiving dinner.
Napkin on your lap. That's the first thing you do when you sit down at a table.
Thank you. All right.
You can see this was a very necessary lesson.
We obviously couldn't get together in person this year, but I wanted to keep the tradition alive, so I invited them all to a virtual Thanksgiving just to catch up. But first, I did the really normal thing of creating perfect visual representations of all of my party guests so that it would feel like they were right there in the room with me.
Well, welcome everybody.
Thankfully, my final guest soon arrived and our party was complete.
Oh, hello, Leon. There's always one guest that shows up a little bit late and throws everything off for the host.
Leon Viv, he can do it every way.
I know he can.
I'd found some helpful online tips for hosting a successful Zoom gathering that I was anxious to share.
The two words that should be avoided are the two P words this year, and that would be politics and pandemic. This is important. The mute button is your friend. We all have that family member who might take over the Zoom, and then it ruins it for everybody. Jay, why don't you tell us about the last time you played golf and how it went?
Tee shot on number 2 was really unfortunate.
Cool.
It got away from
Thank you, Jay. Very interesting story. It does recommend that people use a Zoom background.
I don't know how to do the backgrounds. I've never tried it. How do you do that?
I don't know either. Does anyone know a millennial?
As requested, everyone had brought with them a special cyber dish to share with the group.
Why don't we just go around real quick and say what your specialty dish for Thanksgiving is?
Tomato pudding, family recipe.
Mine is a sour cream pound cake.
That sounds good. Is that healthy?
Oh, it's very healthy and good for you, too.
I'm bringing the turkey. I love the turkey.
I'm going to bring mac and cheese. I got a box ready, and I got the powder. It's all good.
My wife will be preparing a sweet potato casserole.
It's a bit sexist.
It's actually out of necessity.
Go ahead and mute. No, that's understandable. So you're not much of a chef yourself.
The only time I go into the kitchen is to eat.
And I bought a pie from Mark's for $4. We just need to go around now once and everybody mention something that they're thankful for.
Thankful for health, being able to be here at this dinner and see all of you.
I love technology, and it has truly been a lifesaver throughout this whole pandemic.
I'm thankful for the ancestors who taught me good table manners.
And I've noticed that, and thank you for not having your elbows up on your desk while you're dining at Thanksgiving there.
I'm thankful for friends and family and Betsy Kling, who've given me lots of good advice this year with Isla.
I am thankful that we are closer to the end of this pandemic than the beginning.
From your lips to God's ears, I couldn't agree more, although we did kind of agree not to talk about it was one of two P words. I'm going to propose a toast. This was $3.99. Nice twist off. I'm grateful for each and every one of you as co-workers and friends, and I hope everybody has a very happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
So, you guys play Yahtzee?
This is Mike Polk doing the dishes alone tonight for 3 News.
You guys want to watch me play Yahtzee?
That is super creepy.
Yes, that's Jay. Sorry, that's Mike. You're creepy too, but not quite as creepy as Mike is.
When I didn't know what he was going for with the little sweater Russ, but I get it at the end when he shows you
never tells us what he's doing. Like
No.
he just has us on a Zoom, and then all of a sudden we watch it, and we're like, oh,
I will say last year's was so much more fun. We
Yeah.
were all at the same table.
The peanuts, remember the puffed peanuts candy?
I
We
do
had all
remember
kinds
that.
of craziness going on.
Right.
I got to tell you, I put a survey, a little Twitter poll on my Twitter feed at Betsy Kling about Ohio's favorite dessert and sweet potato pie versus the rest. I got to tell you, I am convinced we need to have more sweet potato pie in our life. I have
What's
a
the
number
results?
of people who are saying pumpkin pie, and I'm finding out more and more there's a cultural difference that a lot of African American families have the sweet potato pie on their table.
And I didn't know that.
I need to have this. I have
So
had chitlins, I have had greens, I have
told
not
Brandon-
had sweet potato pie.
He says his mom makes the best. I said, well, post-pandemic, Betsy and I need a piece of Brandon's mom's sweet potato pie.
We do. So we're on it, friends.
Yes.
I promise.
Still ahead on What's New, we are shopping with Emily Mayfield. So she's going to try out 2 locally owned coffee shops right here in Cleveland. Tell us how she likes them.
And then we know college kids can throw back alcohol, and now it appears they're drinking even more because of the pandemic. We break down Kent State's study in Clicking in Cleveland. And Matt, you mentioned the SNOW word in the long-range forecast. Of course, it'd be after Thanksgiving Day, and that is when we can handle snow. It's called festive at that point.
Yeah, bring on all the festive snow we can get between now and Christmas, right? And then after that, North Canada can have it for sure. But yeah, we've got perhaps our first accumulating snow on the way to the area. We also have a rainy day tomorrow. We'll set it all up for you coming up in that forecast.
Yes, here it is Tuesday. It's a short school week for most folks. It's a short work week for many folks. And right on through the holiday and into next week, we plow on through. And Matt, it looks like there are a few little twists and turns coming in our forecast.
Yeah, Betsy, we talked about it yesterday, how things just turned so much more active this time of year when you introduced the jet stream. And yeah, we're actually behind average on snow so far this year. So a lot of snow lovers saying, where's our big November snow? Well, it may have to wait till December, but I don't think it's going to wait a whole lot longer into December to get it, as you'll see here in the forecast. So I want to start out snow so far this season. We average about 3 inches by this time of year already. In Cleveland, we've only had 0.2. Akron, you're about 1 inch to 2 inches below average, and even Erie, where we typically measure that snow belt, lake effect snow, about 4 inches below average so far. Remember, Erie's had some 60-inch totals coming out of November before, but no snow in the forecast tonight, although we are seeing a little wintry mix as this brief area of rain pushes off towards the east. Some ice pellets, some wet snow mixing in with the rain out towards Ashtabula Lake, Geauga County right now. This is out of here. Eventually tonight we're going to kind of dry out. We'll go just mainly cloudy as this storm system continues to push in. You can see that leading edge of the storm now moving through, and really the bulk of this is back towards Missouri. We're going to get into some rainfall tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty soggy Wednesday around here. Will be breezy as well as this low pressure ramps up. And then you can see back towards areas of Colorado. They've had accumulating snow from Denver down towards Colorado Springs today. That's going to be our leftover area of moisture that kind of hangs on as we go into our Thanksgiving Day itself. Again, the wetter of both days will easily be tomorrow. So let's look at it with your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. We're dry if you're up early enough tomorrow. Other than that, it is going to be a soggy day. We'll have periods of rainfall, breezy conditions out of the southwest. Temperatures, though, we're going to approach 50 by noon, and then you see the temperatures actually go up through the evening hours. That front will pass late tomorrow night, may have a rumble of thunder as it does. Look at temperatures, mid-50s at 11 p.m. tomorrow. How about that? Things turn a little bit cooler on Thursday, but not much cooler. And you can see the scattered shower chances we're going to hang on to for your Thanksgiving. So your Thanksgiving Day forecast, I know it's socially distant for most of us this year, but we're going to be dealing with some lingering showers around 53 degrees for a high. Shouldn't be all that bad. But then our attention turns towards next week. Models have changed on this. If you joined me Sunday night, I showed you this and I said, don't just take it with a grain of salt. This storm system went away yesterday and today it's back. This is our next system to watch. This would be some increasing rainfall chances on Sunday night that will likely change over to snow sometime Monday and Tuesday. It all depends on the strength and the track of this low, but you can see things turn markedly colder and snowier around here next week. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on it. The models as right now painting a strip of snow that could be pretty decent around here, somewhere in the Ohio Valley. Again, this is something we'll have to keep our eye on as we go into next week. Your Kanganli Kia 7-day forecast. We've got 50s through Friday. Saturday's a little bit cooler but dry. And there's your system pushing in late Sunday. We've got rain to snow right now on Monday and then snow on Tuesday. could add some lake effect to the mix as well. So if our snow lovers, if they can just hang on till next week, it's going to get a lot more interesting around here.
It definitely is. I will share a little bit later on during the 6 o'clock news probably a picture of our faces as we were having our forecast discussion today, and we were going through the forecast models. I think everybody will get a little kick out of it. We get pretty excited about this stuff. All right, Matt, thanks so much. We'll see you tonight at 7 on Front Row. Jay?
Probably looks like the faces of us as we're hearing the forecast. All right, few places bring people together quite like a coffee shop, particularly a local coffee shop. That's where people like to hang. But with more people working from home, these are empty. So many of them now, and they need your support now more than ever. Our 3 News special contributor Emily Mayfield visited 2 local minority-owned coffee shops that she believes are worth the visit.
There's nothing like finding your go-to coffee shop. Today I'm checking out 2, starting with Cleveland Cold Brew. I'm here with Karen, owner of Cleveland Cold Brew. Karen, thank you so much for having us. Tell us a little bit about Cleveland Cold Brew.
We're a full-service coffee shop, so I wanted this to be a place where people can come to get quality food at a decent price point.
So Karen, tell me about this location.
But I thought this would be a great opportunity to be a minority business and be a part of the transformation of a black neighborhood, if you will.
You are a proud minority-owned business. How has that played into your story and kind of your overall success?
I wanted to be one of few, if not the only, black female manufacturers. Right. Not just think small, but think on a larger scale.
You're a dreamer and a businesswoman.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Yes.
Obviously, the pandemic has been really hard on all food and beverage businesses.
I used that time to be creative and think out of the box. So created an online ordering. So I'm taking it from a more of a physical standpoint to a more digital standpoint.
Well, you definitely have a new customer in me, so let's go check it out.
All right.
What do I need to try?
You need to try our vanilla almond caramel latte, our cold brew coffee with a little bit of pumpkin spice, and our signature bottled cold brew coffee.
Can't wait to try.
All right.
Thank you. I have this gorgeous spread in front of me. We have the Greek salad, the mixed berry smoothie, and of course the coffees. Gotta give them a shot. Pumpkin spice. And now the famous cold brew. You gotta try it, you guys. I'm gonna go stock up on some of these to put in my fridge, and I will see you guys at the next spot. Just in time for some more delicious coffee, we're here in Midtown at Cafe Fix. Let's check it out. I am here with Jackie, proud owner of Cafe Fix. Speaking on COVID and the pandemic, how has it kind of affected your business?
We've gone through it like many of the businesses here in Northeast Ohio. We included this new business model of curbside pickup just so that we can offer a safer method.
Curbside pickup, it's brilliant. You're a proud woman-owned, minority-owned business.
I'm also a proud retired military vet.
Wow.
You know,
so tell me about the menu.
We have a full coffee menu with all types of drinks. We have teas. So we actually have a full lunch menu that we're able to offer to our customers that we didn't have pre-COVID.
Okay, well, all this talk about coffee and food has me thirsty.
All right, I have the caramel chill and the turmeric ginger chai.
Amazing, thank you. Now on to my very favorite part of the segment, where I taste test. I'm gonna start with the caramel chiller, delicious, and 4 shots of espresso. Now on to the turmeric ginger chai latte. 10 out of 10. Guys, remember to support local. We all need each other in the community, and 2 great spots to try out first are Cleveland Cold Brew and Cafe Fix. Cheers.
4 shots of espresso.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Emily Mayfield will run home after that.
Well, she works out like I think 7 hours a day. So
she needs it.
She needs all that espresso.
Oh my gosh, I'd be like this the whole rest of the
I don't drink coffee at all. So if I ever did have an espresso, I'd be bouncing off the walls.
You know what coffee goes good with?
What's that?
Pie. I gotta tell you, I've never had so much feedback on a Twitter poll or anything. We have gotten just so many comments. Both Jay and I have polls going on our Twitter feeds. He, by the way, is Jay Crawford, CLE. I'm Betsy Kling.
I didn't know that.
I have to tell you your own Twitter name, but yeah, we'd love to hear from you on your comments. It's kind of fun. Next for us here on What's New, if your driver's license expired during the pandemic, you might be in luck. How a new law may help.
Yes, I am. A new study from Kent State University shows that drinking is up among college students. Okay.
It is time to see what's clicking in Cleveland, and for that we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Hello, Stephanie.
Hi, Jay. Today we start with a new study from Kent State University taking a look at drinking among college students, and it seems to be up. On the extreme end, the most alcoholic drinks consumed per week went from 63 to 98 over a 2-week period in this study. On average, students had 3.5 drinks the first week, and that jumped to 5 drinks on average the second week. Now, students without the resources they needed for anxiety and depression overall increased their drinking more, but even those with a good support system were still at risk of increased drinking, just not quite as much. The researchers believe this shows more access to mental health services could help these numbers. Now, in Ohio, BMV renewal deadlines have been extended again due to the pandemic. If your driver's license, ID card, or vehicle registration has expired since March 9th or will expire by April 1st, you now have until July 1st to get those items renewed. Pay attention though, because if your documents expire after April 1st, even if it's before July 1st, there is no deadline extension at this time, so make sure you look closely. Now, we've been asking people at home to share their bright spots with us from 2020, and here's what people are most thankful for. Karen Erico says she's thankful for her freedom, her family and friends, and also her health and her ukulele family. You see her holding her ukulele there, and most of all, her salvation. Wendy Hahn Alexander says she's thankful that she beat cancer. Congratulations, Wendy, and she thanks God for wonderful family and friends. And Sean Edwards is thankful for a 7-3 record for our football team. Go Browns, indeed, Sean. Keep sending us those submissions. You can text them to us at 216-344-3300, or you can comment on our social media posts. Jay, it's definitely been a strange year, but it is really nice to see people celebrating those bright spots this year in 2020.
You know what? It really is. And Sean, I'm with you. I'm thankful for the Browns 7-3 record, too. I think we all are. Stephanie, thanks.
Me too, yes.
Still ahead on What's New, we're getting you in the holiday spirit with this incredible light display. You've got to see this.
Then coming up on What Matters Most at 6, the search for family. One woman's journey to find her long-lost siblings and their emotional reunion.
Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3. I'm Laura Queso. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Al would take his mask off and risk his safety for me.
Hey there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mic check, Monica. Hello, hello, hello. Other tips to boost mood?
Check out these lights. That is Saks Fifth Avenue in New York City last night. They're showing off their holiday display for this year. Now, normally the company would shut down the entire street for this annual event, but this year they streamed it instead. New York baseball legend Alex Rodriguez and his fiancée Jennifer Lopez helped to kick off the event.
I bet it's strange without all the people. I've been there for that event many times. Probably just not the same this year, but the lights very, very pretty.
Yes.
That's going to do it. We're out of time. Betsy and I are going to go try some sweet potato pie.
Just pie, period.
Yeah, anytime.
Russ Mitchell said he always has sweet potato pie, so now we really have to. Russ is cooking, by the way, so he just found that out.
See you tomorrow.
You get to hear